Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. All right, welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're at the Georgia Gun Club's 100-yard indoor rifle range, and I'm shooting my Tikka T3X Ace target rifle chambered in .223 Remington with an Arken SH4 6-24x50 rifle scope. And today we're continuing our study with the 55 grain full metal jacket bullet from Hornady, and we're also using the accurate 2200 rifle powder. We'll be shooting charge weights from 21.3 to 22.5 in 0.3 grain increments. All right, so as always, you're welcome to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my shooting, or you can skip forward to the results that follow. Shooting at 100 yards. All right, when I do load development like this, I'm looking for at least one good group in here, and I think we found one, so let's bring them in and check them out. All right, so here we have our fowling group at 21.3 grains, pretty scattered. Of course, we're getting the barrel warmed up here. Same charge weight, that same group begins to tighten up as the barrel is heating up. We go to 21.6. It's getting a little bit tighter. It looks like a fairly round grouping here. 21.9 has a fairly good group here with a flyer off to the side. 22.2, that looks like our best group. That's definitely going to be under an inch with and I'm guessing a mean radius of probably around 0.3 or 3.5. And then again, we open up at 22.5. So we will take these home and measure these with the Hornady Ballistics app and get back to you with the results. So stay tuned. All right, I'm back from the range and I've had a chance to measure and analyze my groups. We're shooting a 55 grain bullet with accurate 2200 powder, and we're shooting charge weights from 21.3 to 22.5 grains of powder. We had some pretty decent groups in here at 21.9 and 22.2, and a couple of really good standard deviations at 9 feet per second and 12 feet per second, but we'll get to those in just a minute. So let's go through these one by one. On our fowling group, this was our cold barrel group, and we had a group size of 2.19 and a mean radius of 0.57. This is at 21.3 grains of powder. We had an average velocity of 29.08 and a standard deviation of 26.7, so pretty high up there. We shoot our first group at that same charge weight after the barrel's warmed up. We're shooting 21.3 grains, and this time we've got a group size of 1.48 inches. We've got a flyer over here on the left, which threw that one off, but we've got a mean radius of 0.43. We have an average velocity of 29.06. The barrel's warming up. That standard deviation has dropped to 19.8 feet per second. At 21.6 grains of powder, we have a group size of 1.24 with a mean radius of 0.51 an average velocity of 29.37, and a standard deviation of 23.4. At 21.9 grains, this was one of our better groups. We had a mean radius of 0.35, and if you look at the close-up of the target here, you'll see that I've drawn a circle in pencil, and that's the 0.35 diameter mean radius. That's what your average group size looks like. It has a group size overall of 1.14 inches, but because we've got these three shots clustered together really tight right here, that drops the average of that mean radius down a good bit. We had an extreme spread of 25 feet per second, and we had shots at 29.69, 29.63, 29.58, 29.44, and 29.50. So really tight on that extreme spread and mean radius. At 22.2 grains of accurate 2200, this was my best group at 0.74 inches with a mean radius of 0.29. And you see I've drawn the pencil circle here showing a mean radius of 0.29. That's what your average group size looks like because we have three shots clustered together right here. And then our extreme spread was only 0.74 inches, which is really tight. We have an average velocity of just under 3,000 feet per second at 29.97 and a standard deviation of 12 feet per second. And again, here's your shot list. We have an extreme spread of 32.5 feet per second, and we had shots at 3,008, 29.76, 3,009, 3,000, and 29.91. At 22.5 grains of powder, it begins to open up again. And now we've got a group size of 1.31 inches, a mean radius of 0.58, an average velocity of 3,042, and a standard deviation of 18.1. So I'm going to have to say that our best group here is at 22.2 grains of powder, and we may find a load somewhere in between because that prior group at 21.9 was also very tight with a mean radius of 0.35, and here at 22.2 a mean radius of 0.29. So we might want to experiment a little bit more in there between those two charge weights because we may be able to tighten that up a little bit. But for now, I'm going to say that 22.2 grains of powder is going to produce your best result. Once we've completed testing the various powders, we're going to come back and we're going to do some 10-shot groups with the best of each of those to find out which is our best performer. All right, those are my results. I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, please leave those in the comments below. I try to interact with everybody that comments. I hope you will also like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.